Welcome back to the Mist Treason. Last time, you almost died. This time, we're gonna sit on the title screen for a minute because you all wake up after a long rest after the night before. Still very sore from the counter with the Minotaur skeleton and the Banshee.
I'm fine.
Except for Celsus, who is perfectly fine.
My airwaves are all fucked up. Got a north wind on my, south shoulder.
You're still about an hour out from town. What would you like to do?
I have a request.
Yeah?
Is it allowable for Howlite to have gotten up an hour earlier to go around and just, check the surroundings, maybe forage for something, maybe, just see if there's any natural resources around?
Yeah. It's kind of just an open area, so there's not a lot there. You find some, nice wildflowers, though. Nothing, sustenance-wise.
And I said I just pick some wildflowers and just bring those back.
Yes.
Cool. Mission success. I have something I'll find a way to use.
This will be my downfall somehow.
This will be your downfall somehow.
I feel that.
Let's say they pick 3 chicory. Well, chicory.
Is there anything else anyone would like to do? Or are you just going to try to get on the road and get into town as soon as possible?
That one, please.
That one
I'd love
sounds
to get
good.
on the road again.
It takes you about an hour, just a little over as you are walking into town. The sun is like a quarter of the way in the sky. You could say it's 8:30-ish in the morning. People are there's an obvious market square that's being set up and people are beginning to sell things and people are starting to go about their day as you enter the town. Howlite, can you give me a perception check?
Sure.
You notice this as you're walking into town.
Mm-hmm.
The air is eerily still in town. And something Erevan would notice is there's no guards at the gate.
Okay, have we seen anyone yet?
You've seen townspeople. You see people walking in the streets, carrying baskets, and you can see just straight through the middle of town. There's a big fountain and a big market square.
But the air is still.
Yep.
And there's no guards.
Not at the gate, at least.
I look up at the sky at the clouds. Are the clouds moving?
The clouds are moving.
Okay, that's weird. Howlite's just gonna sort of stop in the middle of the street.
Something seems off.
Yeah, Howlite just stops in the middle of the street as you guys are walking in.
Yeah, they just stop. They don't really say anything, but they're staring at the sky, just sort of brow-narrowed, this is fucking weird.
You okay back there?
What's wrong with the blue one?
The wind's gone.
What?
There's no breeze when there should be.
Yeah, you all begin to notice this as soon as Howlite points it out, yeah, normally in a town like this, it's especially in the middle of this fields area, there would be a strong breeze at least.
What's the name of this town? I know it was marked, right?
Lemstead.
Oh, I did have it marked out right.
Lemstead, okay.
This is right the next day, right?
Yes.
Still morning?
Yeah, it's 8:30, 8:45-ish.
Okay.
You can see people walking around you and in the market square ahead of you.
Okay.
How do these people look then? Since these people are saying something might be off, studying some of the people as they walk by, what kind of expressions they wear, and what's the energy feel like?
Sure, give me a perception from them.
Okay.
I have a bad feeling about this.
Uryte, you get the feeling that these people are tired. There's something weighing on their shoulders.
You know, those creepy crawlies we found the other day might... I don't know. Some not good here. Might want to go to the ye old watering hole and... there might be some information to get.
Are you suggesting we be on the lookout for a bone wizard? You say this very seriously, like it's a normal thing.
Celsus is like about to say something and then realizes that there would be no point and simply just puts his face in his hand.
I'm gonna head to the stables and set Mullet here up in the stables.
Here's an interesting question about the air quality. There's always a stillness before a heavy storm. Does it feel like I can smell that ozone a little bit, or does it just feel dead? Like nothing's coming?
It feels like something dead's coming.
Oh, like the smell of like...
Do you know like the scent of like, kind of like rotting plants?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's not good at all.
It's just ever so faint.
Compare the breezelessness like scent that you're getting now to what we got yesterday in the fight, before the fight, during the fight type deal.
True, the air was off then too. I forgot about that. Is it like that?
Similar. The air here feels stronger.
Okay. Definitely a bone wizard.
Celsus just gets an expression like he really wants to say something, but knows that it would bring him more trouble than it would solve.
Howlite unfortunately does not notice his pain whatsoever.
Considering my insight check, I probably don't realize it either. I'm just,
Erevan, you think you might be getting a little nearsighted.
Oh no!
Bum bum ba-dum.
Classic.
I feel like... Howlite, Celsus, Utyr, why don't you go, look around a bit more? I'll take, Mullet in the cart to the stables for a bit before...
They nod. I'm going to drink my celerity mutagen, and I'm going to use it to hop up onto the rooftops and try and get a higher view of the city.
Just for fun, give me an acrobatics check.
Of course. Bam.
Okay, yeah, it's pretty easy. You can just hop up on the roofs. They're not very tall roofs. I just realized I forgot as you're walking into town
to
put you on this page.
Oh shit.
I have a different background.
Oh, very nice.
Oh, she's off on go look at that stuff. Hey, Celsus, do you want to come with me and find a place that can... He kind of turns his back to show the two Minotaur horns on his back, and find someone that can help me, work these.
Okay. Yes, that sounds lovely.
Sweet.
Can I come?
You have fun, Reine.
You sure?
Celsus glares at Erevan. Yes, sure, you can come, cat.
Don't get yourself into too much trouble.
Celsus has not bothered to learn the cat's name.
Oh, and if Celsus there does anything you really mean to you or to you, just stab him.
What?
Okay.
No.
I look at Celsus as Erevan says that.
Celsus does not give you eye contact. God, I love playing a fucking asshole.
I love Celsus being just the worst at times. It's great.
Just stab him in the thigh. He'll be fine.
But yeah, just to follow through on my thought process, this image is actually perfect for what I was thinking. I was looking for a turret very much like this one to just get up on top of and like gaze around at the city, just to see like, I don't know, is there any rotting trees perchance?
It's not fall, is it?
Yeah, but I still smelled it.
It's the month of Vision. It's the month of spirits.
Alright.
So there are like a bunch of leaves falling.
I'm looking for
See that?
more like
Dead trees.
very green, sickly, like murky, like goopy trees. That type of dead tree.
Give me a perception.
I believe
Yes! How
See,
light?
Wow. You see in the town, you're getting very close to like the edge of a large forest, which you can kind of guess based on like the edge of town that this used to a primary export of like this town is logging. But you notice at the edge of the forest, like all of the trees are orange except for like a couple which are still like bright green. Like they're like springtime green, like fresh leaves green. And that just feels off because by this point most of the trees are either like yellow, orange, or like are dropping their like brown orange leaves.
Yeah. And it's not a coniferous tree?
It's just not a coniferous tree. It's bright like springtime leaf green, like maple tree green.
Oh, that's really off. Okay. Either some druids live here or somebody's fucking with the trees.
Well, they get a lot more nutrients when they're built over planted over bodies.
Oh, that is a point. But I don't think that would
That
extend their
wouldn't
life
change
cycle,
belief
though.
thing, so I don't know if I can...
That is a fun point, though. Okay, Howlite's gonna continue along the rooftops following the party, and if they so happen to head towards the forest, jump down and warn them ahead of time, but, like, they don't.
I think Uryte was planning on going to the bar.
Well, no, first he wanted to go find someone that could process these Minotaur horns.
The Minotaur horns.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give me perception.
Where he like kind of like looks up at Celsus as they're walking around, just like, yeah, keep your eyes open because I don't think a lot of people are gonna want to be talking here right now. So, gotta rely on our own peepers.
Good to know.
Come
I
on,
love
buddy.
how fucked the city is immediately. This is interesting.
Oof,
Yeah, but
buddy.
this really isn't hard to spot. Like you keep walking into the market square and you immediately spot like this stall that's got like swords and axes and it's like in front of a blacksmith.
There. That was a lot easier than I thought.
Simple.
Oh, alright.
Shops want to make themselves known.
Sometimes the good ones are hidden, though.
You walk up to this like stall and like along it you see just like a line of like very finely made daggers and like a couple swords, etc. And in the back you can see this guy like working at an anvil, just kind of hammering out some metal. He's like middle-aged human, kind of like a larger build guy.
I look up at Celsus. Do you think I could sell those gems here?
Not likely here. If you wish to ask him where you could sell them, be my guest.
You probably need a jeweler for that. Hail, friend!
He like stands up, turns around, and he's like, "Oh, welcome, travelers."
Hi.
Hi.
Got a question for you. Do you take commissions or anything like that?
That I do.
Ah,
Are you looking
sweet.
to commission?
Well, you see, and he has the, like, with a little bit of, like, great effort, the 2 Minotaur horns, like, off his back, just, oh god, alright, I was wanting to see if I could get these used to, I don't know, make a good shield for some friends, or, maybe, like, a weapon and a shield, I don't know what, I don't know how much this is, useful for.
He like sets down his hammer, brushes off his hands on his like heavy leather apron, and then like picks up one of the Minotaur horns.
God, you make that look easy.
Oh yeah, he does. Really
Buff.
fine horn. Where'd you get this?
Oh, we ran into some unsavory types on the way over, and, well, spoils of war.
I see.
There is a zombie.
How?
There are a lot of those at night.
Okay, that's a common thing. I didn't want to try and panic and such.
No, it's quite common around here. It's why a lot of people don't stay. We have been having issues with most people would call him mad man in the woods, who insists on sending his minions here until he can take control of the town.
Why is he mad?
It's because he's lost his mind.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Do you know where specifically in the woods? Celsus, you've got the map, right?
Do I have the map?
Who's got the map?
I'm pretty sure Howlite does have
I have
the
the
map.
map, and I'm on the rooftops. Sorry. Can I just drop down from the awning?
Oh.
Howlite, you drop down.
Hello.
Oh,
You wanted the world map, yes?
yes, that would be very useful.
May I see it for a moment? They hand out the world map to you.
He'll take it and just like, okay, no, if you could like show us where this guy is, that might actually be on.
We've never actually figured out where he is. There's not much in those woods. There's rumors of some ruins.
Ruin.
Classic.
Nobody's really ever been able to find them.
You mean the woods with the bad trees in them?
Hmm.
Oh, the green things?
Yes.
Yeah, don't.
That's ominous. Alright.
Yeah, it really is. Fuck.
We've somewhat resigned ourselves to just kind of boarding up our houses every night.
That's terribly inconvenient.
Yeah, it is.
Yes, it is.
If I look around, do I see some like houses that the people have just decided to not even bother taking the wood down?
Oh, yeah. Like, no, with this knowledge now, you look around and you see, like, all the shutters are then double boarded closed
Oh,
on a lot of
Okay.
the two-story houses.
oh. Huh. Well, then that's unfortunate. Back, I guess, to the task at hand. What could you make with those Minotaur horns? Is there enough there to make a shield or two, maybe?
Given enough time, I could definitely make a couple fine shields.
How much would that cost me?
Could I have gone to the thing and caught up at this point?
Yes, you can definitely be walking up at this point.
I'm just gonna nod to the group.
Or it is too focused on the transaction at hand.
Howlite's just grinding regions while waiting. Could I sit on like the staircase to the entrance of the place?
Yeah.
Is that doable? Alright, cool. I'm just waiting for my map.
It will cost you, like, 175 gold per shield.
Per shield.
Gonna walk up behind Reine, ruffle her hair.
Starts, like, stroking his chin, trying to think, because that is definitely out of the price range at the moment. Kind of looks up at fucking Erevan, who's, like, kind of got here now, then over at Celsus, just...
Well, I have no use for this, so if we're talking transaction, how much would you sell this for? And I pull out the size large great axe.
The guy just kind of looks at it and goes... That there is...
Dunk on the table.
Honestly, I was totally waiting for this guy to be like, oh yeah, we have like 40 in the back, because, you know, necromancer.
So to be honest, I think if they're you're used to boarding up the houses, the Banshee is rather uncommon, because boarding up the houses would not matter.
True, that wouldn't do anything.
Probably, like... I'd probably give you, like, 250 gold for this.
250.
I'll make that deal.
Before you finish, you'd say you'd do that for 250. Would you do that in trade for the two shields instead, as we are adventurers, and I, in good faith, and I doubt my friend here, you know, being a man of the cloth, could turn a blind eye to this madman summoning the undead. What if we help with this problem of yours? Axe for shields.
The axe for the shields plus 50 gold.
Drive a hard bargain.
That saves about 50 gold.
Howlite on the stairs just kind of mutters, it's not hard, that's math.
How much would
I'm willing to chip in if you don't want to pay for it yourself.
Oh, You have okay. I mean, if you want to chip in some, that'd be fine. All I've got on me right now is 20.
I've got 50 on me.
I hold up the small red gem I got from the Wizard's Tower.
Oh.
He just looks at the gem and he's like, I don't know what you want me to do with that.
Yeah.
I'm not a
Hold on to
jeweler.
that, Reine.
Yeah, hold on to that, Reine. If you want to chip in like 30, I could chip in 20 then.
Works for me.
All right. He'll pull out 20 gold from his little satchel and
I'll pull out 30.
hand it over to this man.
Alright, he takes the axe, your 50 gold, and the Minotaur horns, and he kind of announces, pleasure doing business with you. Jesus fuck.
Yeah, it's nice doing
Well-
business with you as well.
And Celsus looks at Reine while still talking at the blacksmith. Do you happen to know where there is a jeweler around?
Sadly, we don't have a jeweler in town anymore.
Of course.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Hmm.
By the way, what is your name, good sir? I am Uryte.
Let's name him, guys.
Let's name him.
Can his name be
Hold
like
on, I've got
Tristan?
a really dumb list of names.
Tristan?
Tristan.
Bob.
Tristan.
Tristan what?
What about Welsh?
Welsh? Tristan Welsh?
Tristan Welsh is a good name. I like
Tristan
that.
Welsh. He kind of like swings all this stuff under one arm, and you all are thoroughly impressed at this guy. Like,
Literally lets out the list and just like, man, if I wasn't taken.
What's the name of this town?
I have this book.
Lemstead.
Buff man hot.
Tristan just holds out a hand and he's like, my name's Tristan Welsh.
I will take his hand and like give it a shake. You know, it's obviously very weak because I'm tiny. Just yeah, they call me Uryte.
It's nice to meet you all. Hopefully, nothing too terrible befalls you while you're here.
I mean, once we get those shields and everything, like I feel like we'll be pretty good.
Of course, these will probably take roughly a week to shave down the horns as well as place them onto the shields.
Mm-hmm. Well then,
Pardon me, Uryte.
yes.
Would you care to help me in starting the wind again?
That actually was what I was talking about to him, as well as part of this transaction, trying to get rid of this madman in the woods.
I would rather not stay in a place so still.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
if we are to wait a week, I would like to get that done first.
You want to go try and find this guy now?
I think
Yes?
we must.
Yeah, alright, I mean,
Alright.
I think we should probably get some information before we head out first so we can get a good idea of his location and such. Find out where all the attacks came from, and then we can try and follow that to the start point.
Good plan.
Do you want to split up and look for
Look for
different
clues.
locations?
Look for clues?
Split up and look for clues, gang. Do we want to split up and speak around the town, see if we can get anyone who's got any ideas?
I'll scout the forest. I'm not the best
I'll go
with
with you then.
people.
Do we have a map of the forest?
We could probably get one from the general store if there's one in town still.
Good
You
idea.
guys are still in front of the blacksmith, right?
Yeah.
Tristan just kind of reaches forward. It's like, if you go there, her name's, give me a name, guys.
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth, sure. Elizabeth over there with the, like, red awning. She sells general goods, rations, rope. She probably has a map. You can also, he points, like, a little, like, 10 degrees to the left to, a more, like, open-looking building. That's the bar. They do close at sundown, and everyone's out by dark.
Makes sense.
But they also probably have plenty of information if you're really looking to go get this guy.
Yeah.
May I have my map back?
Yeah, here you go, buddy.
Thank you.
Kind of rolls it back up, hands it over to Tali.
Yeah, they take it. They roll it back up, put it in their tube. Just like strap it on over their shoulder. It's like a little map. It's like a little map tube because we got it from the
Yeah.
pompous like temple dude.
Yeah.
So it's totally like,
Guys, so it's totally got a tube.
yeah. Oh, Dan, when you looked at it, you also would notice that it's like heavily scrawled on already.
Yeah. I was like, I know he's looked at it before, and then you looked at it again. It's like compared it to his old mental image, and he's just like, that's interesting. As I'm like already scratching in my little journal, like one without the Howlite's markings on it.
I'm gonna walk over to the what was her name, Elizabeth?
Elizabeth.
Yeah. I'm
Elizabeth.
following right behind you.
I'm heading to the woods with Erevan.
Reine?
Stick with dead.
That I can
Alright.
agree with.
As the group splits up, like it's just so you really don't like the kiddo, do you?
I'm not a children person.
Yeah, trust me, I wasn't at first either, but they kind of grow on you after a while.
She's also far too explaining. I have a feeling that if I told her literally anything, the entire town would know before the end of the day.
Yeah, you're probably not wrong on that. She's ignorant to the ways of the world. She's innocent.
Yes,
Even if her father apparently was an abusive asshole, if I heard correctly.
something like that.
But, I spent,
At least being smartass.
I got to.
grow up, as they say. Physically, mentally, etc.
One could only hope.
Mikey, high or low?
Hi.
Fuck.
That's in the middle.
Right in the middle, baby.
Again.
We'll try again.
Being decided.
Cool. So we're gonna do, I was just doing which group goes first.
Oh, they can go first.
So from the town to like the actual edge of the forest, it's about like a 45-minute walk. They've cleared a lot of the area, and you can tell that it used to be like pure forest around here. But now there's a lot more fields directly outside the forest, though they seem, at this point, they're pretty barren, with the last crops of the year kind of struggling to survive. And, like, as you approach, like, the grass gets thicker and higher, and then, there's the edge of the forest, which is clearly defined by the line of trees.
Okay. So, staying on the perimeter of the woods, what's the general, like, I guess, ratio of weird-ass bright trees to normal trees?
I would say about 10% are weird-ass bright trees.
Wow, okay. Huh. Have you seen this before in your travels, Erevan?
Have I? I don't think I have.
Give me intelligence.
Can I roll nature?
Sure.
I want to think that I might have seen these before. But I want to also...
You can also give me nature if you'd like.
Yeah.
Much better.
You
at
both
nature.
have heard of this, though Howlite has seen this once. It's a disease caused by raising undead in a vicinity where there's a heavy amount of plants.
Oh, interesting.
It's something called reverse leaf rot.
Reverse leaf rot, okay.
It's a semi-permanent disease that happens to non-coniferous trees, specifically in an area where a significant amount of undead have had to be raised just for one tree to be infected. It happens to smaller plants as well, but it's less noticeable because it lasts for a shorter amount of time because they're smaller. And when I say significant, it has to be like, for every tree that gets reverse leaf rot, 100 or so strong undead have to be summoned.
Oh, damn. They're just kind of looking at this and they just like say, are you aware how many undead this signifies?
Quite a lot more than would be necessary to take over that town back there.
A lot more than we could handle. So why
Why does the tree mean that there's lots of undead boys?
Why hasn't the town fallen then?
That might be a more interesting question than where he is.
I have an idea.
Hmm?
Oh, what's
What
up,
if the
Reine?
town already has and he's hiding in plain sight?
He just uses the town to live off of while threatening them with his undead. Mayhaps. I'm not sure though.
I'm smarter than I look.
I wouldn't say entering this place unprepared is a good idea. Who knows how many are hiding in the woods?
Well, I actually imagine there are a few things that might know what's hiding in these woods. Gonna look around for any birds that are near the edge of the forest. Any small forest animals, deer.
Can you give me another nature check? Okay.
Still not great.
You see hints of like animals do live here, but they're few and far between. A lot of what you see like a couple birds overhead. They're like the larger like you see a crow and like you see an eagle at some point, but you don't see much else. You see hints that there being deer, but nothing like squirrels or anything like that.
We're gonna need to be more prepared than we currently are if we're wanting to go in there.
Do you know any priests? Holy casters?
Not in this town.
Hmm.
Though we haven't gone to the temple district yet, we could go check there.
Yes. My thought was if there's a priest here, mayhaps they are what's keeping them at bay. And if so, their support in this might be pivotal.
Agreed. Let's get away from here before we draw any more unwanted ire from what might be lurking in that forest.
They nod with that similar, like, uncomfortable feeling of just stillness. Hate this stillness. It's not right at all.
You do notice, like, once you're out of the main part of the town, and, like, out in this field, there is a slight breeze.
Every time that breeze comes by, they savor it.
Radius is gonna draw her sword and dagger preemptively.
Don't worry. They don't like the light. So long as we leave before sundown, we'll be fine. Probably.
Didn't we encounter the other ones during the day, though?
Sunset.
Point.
It's still before noon.
Alright.
They don't like the light, but the shade of the trees might still be enough to keep them.
Give me one moment. Howlite's gonna mutter a few, like, silvery words, and her hair is gonna kind of, like, fluff up for a little bit, and I'm gonna cast Levitate. And I'm going to go up above the trees, and I just want to get a bird's eye view. Can I see these structures in the woods?
Can you give me an investigation check?
Yes, I can.
You don't see anything out of the ordinary, just a bunch of trees. The obvious, like, reverse leaf rot on a very surprising amount of trees, especially the farther you get in.
They're getting denser.
Somewhat. They're still fairly sporadic, but it's like on the edge, there's not many. But like in the main area of the forest, it's about 10%.
Oh no.
They come back down and start to gently touch down. If we want to find them, shouldn't be too hard. Just follow the disease.
How many trees are rotty?
A number you would not understand.
I'm 12, not 4.
Still, far too many to count. Like, my next thought is trying to find a priest slash the whatever the hell's keeping these guys at bay. Why isn't the that question is quite terrifying. Of why hasn't the town fallen? with so many undead.
Because even if it isn't powerful undead, just 100 undead to infect one tree and roughly 10% of the trees, even 1,000 zombies is more than enough to overrun a town.
I'm simply curious, how big is this town? Is it a, like, how large would you say it is?
Do you want a real world comparison or like an in-world comparison? Or both?
Both would be nice, yeah.
Ellie, how big is your hometown?
It's about 10,000 people.
Okay. If
Pretty
Safe
small.
is like Madison, where it's like a big central city,
Yeah.
this town is about half the size. It's like 5,000 people. But it's right on the trade network, so it's pretty
It's like
Size.
wealthy small
Still-
town.
busy.
Alright, I have a possible idea, maybe.
Yeah?
So, they tries to overrun the town every so often. But the way they said it made it seem like both it's a common occurrence and it's ineffective.
Yeah.
I think that he's using the undead for something else. And the attacking of the town is a cover for if people figure out what the disease is.
I've got an idea too. They said he went mad, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
What if he just can't control them and sometimes they leak out? He's not even trying to attack the town, maybe? And it's like a byproduct. Like, those the ones we saw, they weren't under command of anything, they just attacked us.
Yeah.
It
I
still
like
means
I like
he's
the idea though
powerful
that he's
enough to
doing
raise a
something
banshee.
else in there with all of them, and that's terrifying.
Still means he's powerful enough to raise a banshee.
Yes. Worrisome. Other idea. If he makes it fall, there aren't any fresh corpses.
That too.
Before we go, I just like to peer through the tree line, like just peer into the trees. What do my cat eyes see?
A lot of trees. But the thing that kind of stops you from like looking even further is you kind of like you swear for a second you see a glowing red eye.
Mhm.
I immediately grab Erevan's pant leg, like, Erevan?
Hmm?
I point to where I saw it. I saw a glowing red eye in the trees.
If I look, I guess.
You don't see anything.
Even more of a reason that we should get out of here now.
Come on.
I want to go. Let's go.
Richard and Wesley. Elizabeth.
Elizabeth. I'm gonna go up to her.
Hello.
Hello, is there a map that includes the forest that you sell?
Oh yeah, are you just looking for like a general like town and forest?
Correct.
Sure. And she like pulls out a couple like wrapped up, tied with like string maps. This one's just primarily the town, and this one's got like half the town and the forest.
That will do.
It'll be 5 silver for that. You guys aren't out from here.
No, we're not.
We are not.
We are, well, I don't know where you're specifically from, but I'm not even from this continent. You know, any information you can give us about the ongoing attacks on the town?
Are you talking about from the guy in the woods?
Yeah, the mad wizard or whatever.
Yeah, what do you want to know?
How often are his attacks, and, like, do you know any sort of pattern that you've noticed?
Well, last night we didn't have an attack for the first time in like 10 days or so. They're pretty frequent, with very short breaks. They're not a lot, but they're enough that we, as like normal townspeople, can't handle. And like we've just stopped kind of creating a guard to like protect the town because they're more than likely just going to get killed.
Hmm.
Odd.
I mean, yeah, this has been happening since like as long as I can remember.
Hey Katie, can I have a vague sketch of the like shape of the forest and like where the town is?
Sure.
What if he's like trying to keep something in something that the town has in? So like he could overrun it, but like he's trying to keep something,
Yeah.
something or someone from leaving.
I think he
Something
needs
Kat
the
mentioned
town for
earlier
something.
is that the wind isn't moving in the town, and it actually starts moving the farther you get away from it. So either the crazy magic dude set a curse on the town to stop the wind, or there's something already here, and the crazy undead dude's trying to stop it?
Now, here's another question. I just had to put it in the chat, but if the undead attacks are that frequent, why hasn't the crown stepped in to do anything about it?
Something I...
The crown's a bitch.
The crown in this world, from what we can tell, already has enough issues. From what we learned the last time of, like... There's
there's two crowns.
unrest.
The crown, they just merged Priam and Keldaro. They just married off the princess of Priam within the last, you'd like to say, 5 years?
What I'm kind of wondering is, if this wizard is trying to stop people, and is going mad, seemingly accidentally trying to, like... Or not, trying to stop something in the town already, right? I would say then that the undead attacks are on accident, but that wouldn't make sense with the scheduling, you know? Like, it's so frequent that it doesn't seem like it's accidental.
Yeah.
Because, like, if it was on accident, it wouldn't be every night.
Yeah, it would be sporadic.
Are you ready
It seems
for
like a mind
super fast
fog.
map making?
Yes.
Fast man
please.
making with cat.
This is the northwest part of
Big forest.
Big Forest.
Big forest.
And we came in on the southeast side?
Kind of more just straight east.
Just east? Okay.
And this forest kind of just covers the entire west side, but that's the most mapped out portion. A lot of the light green is just fields.
Does the west side trading route go through the forest?
Yes.
Oh.
But it goes more the southwest forest.
Okay.
Oh, okay, well,
Okay,
this
then I'm assuming that the forest that's most filled with creatures is through the northwest, simply because the crown land things, why hasn't the crown gotten involved? They would if it was impacting them economically, and it would if they were attacking the major trade route we were just on.
But they
more
seem to
often.
just be a nuisance. They're not actually... The only people they're affecting is a few people dying in Lemstead, from what I can get.
Mm-hmm.
Can we get a judge for, like, how many people had died? Or, like, not graves that would be filled with any corpses, but, like, ceremonial type things, you know? Was there any of that? People in mourning, people with, like, shrines set up outside their houses.
Just on like the outside edge, the inside edge of town, you would have seen a fairly large graveyard
Okay.
that seems to have been like renovated in the last like 10 years.
Okay.
And many of the gravestones look fairly new. Erevan would notice this probably the most, is a lot of them have the symbol of Palor on the gravestone symbols.
Oh. Maybe you do have friends in town. Well, I think we should go find a priest.
Okay, so you disbanded the guard of the town because you didn't want people to continue dying, right?
Yeah. It's more likely than not that we can just protect ourselves by boarding up our houses. And I remember when I was like a little kid, we actually had to get a new door because one of the Minotaur skeletons that does like a patrol at night
Uh-huh.
kind of busted through with one of the horns.
Wait. Oh, okay, so, Katie, how old is this person?
She's a half elf. You don't know.
Ha ha.
Okay.
You'd have to ask her.
I'm not gonna ask a woman how old she is.
God damn it,
that's you.
Celsus. God damn it, Celsus.
But it would be a Dory, where it's just like, how long ago was that?
I'm 17 now, so like I'd like to say like 12 years ago.
So they broke your door.
Mhm.
Did anyone die?
Or injured?
No, we have a secondary, like, as strong as the first floor front door, we have a door to the second floor.
Ah, so you were all on the second floor. They broke
Uh-huh.
into the first. Okay.
But the Minotaur skeleton couldn't get in through the doorway, so only the, like, skeletons and, like, zombies could get through.
That is really odd. So the undead literally just walk the streets at night and then just leave.
They break in a door
Yeah, it kind of seems like they're looking for something half the time.
Yeah, I have a question for you about that.
Yeah.
When's the last time you felt a nice breeze?
I don't remember. This is not something I think about.
Celsus kind of mumbles, even I couldn't tell you that.
Howlite could.
A friend of mine kind of noticed like how the air felt a little stagnant. Is it always like this? No heavy winds?
This is pretty normal.
When's the last time? Actually, wait, does it storm here often? Rain? Any of that?
We get some rain. I can't remember the last time it stormed. I'd like to say not this last summer, but the summer before.
Mm-hmm.
I remember there being a big thunderstorm. Lightning, whole 9 yards.
I have a bad gut feeling, Celsus, but I really hope I'm wrong on this. Whenever you are up on the second floor, have you ever watched where the undead came from or which direction they head towards when they leave?
They kind of just go out through the closest gate. We can't really see much through the boards.
Wait.
Are you guys here to, fix this or something?
Perhaps.
If it's within our power.
Uryte being like, this is the right thing to do, Celsus. Maybe, if I feel like it.
Uryte also I did just make a deal with that guy. I'm surprised that there wasn't a what is it, a request on the adventurers board or whatever. I mean, I would have mentioned that before we left.
Last time we tried to put in a request on the Adventurers Guild, that entire party got killed.
No one wants to fix it because no one can.
Huh. Interesting.
I think we've tried one time since, and nobody's picked the quest.
Hmm.
I don't know. That's something my mother would know more about.
Oh, where's your mother? If we could speak to her, that might get some more information.
She's probably at the temple.
There's a
Priest.
you know what? That actually might help us out a lot if we can get another priest on our side. Maybe some holy water or something like that.
Yeah, probably. Probably going to be one of your better knowledge sources than me.
Oh,
What if it's all an elaborate scheme by the church to sell more?
Sell holy water? Can you imagine? Well, I know that's where I've been wanting to go, is to the priest, because, Temple of Palor signs everywhere, sun, holy energy. Why the fuck are these undead not being taken care of?
Mm-hmm.
Somewhat being handled by that person, so I want to find out what's going on.
Yeah,
okay, let's go there.
Yeah, could you give us directions? Since we're not from here.
So you're going to want to head to the east side of town and stay on kind of the north side. It should be pretty obvious. It's like a big building with a giant sun stained glass.
All right. Thank you very much. You were very
You're
helpful.
welcome. Have a nice day.
You as well. Stay safe.
Celsus
Yeah.
As we walk off, Celsus is kind of looking at this map and I do wish this was more zoomed out. I was hoping for a shape of the forest at least.
Well, here, let me see that. I might be able to compare it to the one that I copied down from Howlite.
Ah, yes, here you are.
Yeah. Can you give me intelligence?
Okay. Pretty
It's going to
average.
take you a little bit.
If we came in from here, then we can kind of just rule out this entire area because we got attacked by the big guys over here.
Here, I'll give you a little bit more. The forest kind of goes down like this and up like that.
Okay.
The trade line like that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, this is something I wanted to ask earlier when we were on the map. Where's the capital of Priam?
It's a Krail, which is south on the peninsula, straight south from Safe.
Okay. Quite a bit further away than Safe, okay.
Yeah, it's about 2.5 days from Safe.
Okay.
Do y'all want to meet up at the table? Temple? Not table.
We're all going there.
Yeah, we
we
are
like
Temple. Temple.
temple.
We do all
Who
have
gets
to
there
be going
first?
there.
That was the interesting question.
It would be Celsus and Uryte.
That's what I was
Because it's a
thinking.
45-minute
Yeah.
walk back from.
You know, I really hope the others kind of get here. Like this temple thing. Like, well, I'm good with talking to people. I'm not the best with people of the cloth at the moment.
I see.
Yeah, chromatic skills not really looked highly upon.
Yes, the... what's the best way to say this?
Racism.
Perhaps.
People assume.
Yes, that.
You easily find this very large temple, the Paylor.
Ugh.
Paylor respects.
And you definitely see what Elizabeth was talking about with the large sun stained glass. It's about as large as the one that you saw in Saith.
Okay, which is something to say, considering that this place is a lot smaller.
Wow. Huh. Church funds must be different from the normal funds.
Indeed.
That's
interesting.
Odd.
Actually, 6 cents type deal. Do we mind waiting outside for like 10 minutes?
I suppose.
Alright,
Are you ritual casting disguise self?
No, I'm gonna ritual cast detect magic.
Alright, so 10 minutes pass by. You have been muttering there with your eyes closed. And then your eyes open and you look at the temple, and the ground around the temple is glowing. And the temple itself is glowing as well.
Is there a school of magic that I can learn from the temple?
Abjuration?
Is that what I think it is?
Interesting.
Is there anything elsewhere Celsus looks like to the rest of the town?
I'm actually about to... I turn around and just start looking around to see if there's anything, within the 30 feet of me. Just necromantic energies or just anything.
Nothing within 30 feet of you.
Nothing close by, but I'd have to walk the entire town for it.
Idea.
Very well.
Can you look like past the buildings at the sky and check the air itself, like in front of you?
Ooh.
Howlite did mention clouds moving. That's weird.
You don't see anything weird with the air.
I'm kind of short at. Celsus, do you think you can boost up a little bit? Just a little. Sorry.
Celsus, if this was literally anyone else that I did not like, I would just outright say no. But now I'm just considering saying no instead of actually doing it.
Just seeing the look at his face. That's you don't gotta if you don't want. I could probably just wait for Howlite to get back. She probably has I don't know, some knowledge about the clouds or something. So far, the only magic I'm seeing is temple and this.
It's a very bright temple.
I don't believe that an extra 5 feet or so is going to get you much anyway.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, enough standing around. Head inside while I keep this going, just in case.
All right.
There's some crazy necromancy inside.
Indeed.
Yeah, you go inside, and it's a very bright building. You see orbs of orange and red and green glowing lights kind of floating around the building, kind of lighting it up, with the large stone engraving on the top part of the far wall, kind of parallel to the big stained glass window. And in center there's the dais with a altar in the center, and you see a couple people sitting in the pews and praying. And there's a couple attendants in the temple kind of going about their daily things. It's 9:30-ish.
Okay.
Ish.
Almost 10 in the morning.
Okay.
How painful is it for someone with detect magic on?
The entire building is magical.
And then there's the lights and.
You sure are detecting.
Alright, let's get this over with soon. This is really painful in here. You see anyone that might look like her mother?
Let's see.
Give me perception. You see a woman clad in like a more ornate kind of robe. She looks a little older. Her hair's like started like almost fully gray with like some splotches of like ashy brown kind of left in the mix. She looks fairly similar to Elizabeth, other than the fact that she's a human and not a half-elf.
Well, the human had to come to the half-elf from somewhere, so...
Precisely.
See ya.
Oh, yes, she's over here.
Ah,
Hey, Richard, does she have any magic around her?
as we get closer, does she?
You see, like, she's got this, like, mantle on her shoulders that does glow slightly with some enchantment school.
Hmm.
Okay.
Or we'll just kind of like tap the shoulders of his own and just kind of like do a little hand gesture as if saying magical.
Yeah, okay.
You hear her and an attendant muttering quietly, and she notices you two approach, and she kind of looks up. What can I do for you two travelers?
We're looking to get some information about the going-ons of the town.
Oh, I see. Another group of adventurers attempting to help us?
Perhaps.
What do you wish to know?
Well, for starters, how long has this been going on?
Oh, I'd like to say close to 20 years now.
20 years. And in 20 years, this mad mage hasn't been able to take over the town.
Me and my priests have done our best to make sure that our fair town does not fall.
Hey, Kat,
Mm-hmm.
do those words ring true, or does it feel like there's a little bit of something else?
Can you give me insight?
Can I do insight too?
Sure. There is a sense of sadness when she talks. Like, talking about this just has kind of... She's tired of it.
Like, over the years, my spirit's been broken kind of thing?
Yes, there's also a sense of, like... Anyway, you get this more than Celsus does, because Celsus is Celsus.
Yeah.
It seems like she's brokenhearted.
Oh, I bet her husband was killed.
Yeah. Gonna give like a respectful bow, just my condolences. Not easy.
I don't know what happened to him.
Oh.
If there's anything more you can tell us about this, where their enter and exit points are, or anything like that, any information would be helpful.
They come from the north and the east primarily. They leave whatever direction they can. I can tell you about the man.
Yes, that'd be very helpful.
His name is Kros. Kros Givai. He was a alchemist in town. He made many a potion. And then one day, a group of adventurers came by, and they sold him some things, and he started becoming more of a shut-in, and it just went south from there. And one day, he just left into the woods, and then the attacks started.
You said he was an alchemist?
Mm-hmm.
Alchemy.
That only kinda sorta tracks.
Okay, hang on a second. I have a question, and this one is definitely going to sound odd. Has he ever, been married or anything? Had a wife or kids?
He had a wife and kids.
Did something happen to them before he...
No. Speaking as I'm still here.
Oh.
Oh. He's...
Her daughter's a half-elf.
I thought that your husband died. I didn't...
No, he went crazy.
Huh. Do you know what they sold him then?
Celsus actually does say, oh, in character. And, like, he has a look of, like, oh, I totally misinterpreted that.
Same. Which is why Uryte said, oh, I thought he
I was
died.
wondering if that's where it was going based on how she was talking about him.
Yeah. I'm so glad that I misinterpreted that.
It's very funny. It's a great
I was really
reveal.
hoping that you guys would catch on to that.
Yeah, do you know what they sold him then? That was
He
one
would never
theory.
let me into the storefront that was the alchemist area. He, especially afterwards, there was a lot of apparently dangerous stuff that he didn't want me or Elizabeth getting into.
Yeah, that tracks. Protective father.
That he was.
Well, there goes the theory that he was trying to raise the dead for, getting the wife and child back.
Something about this is... She said about 20 years. But the undead have been attacking for about 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Her daughter's 18.
That's about 20 years.
Okay.
Yeah, see, I think that makes sense too, because when you talked to Elizabeth about him, there was zero emotional connection. She's never met him, probably. Or at least has very vague memories of him.
Mm-hmm.
Might just not even know.
Mm,
That's my thought.
Possibly.
Also very...
What Elizabeth thinks is that, like, oh yeah, either my dad is It seems like something that I could see the mother just, like, never told, like, oh yeah, it's your dad doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay, so we spoke with your daughter earlier, and she's the one who sent us to you.
That makes sense.
She said that the skeletons seemed like they were almost looking for something.
Half the time they do, half the time they don't. There are times where they will intentionally break into houses and, ransack the bottom levels and then not be able to get through because their powerhouses are too big.
Mm-hmm.
But that's some advanced thinking for simple skeletons and zombies.
Yeah,
He
it
was
is.
a magnificent man.
Would you mind if we poked around his old workshop?
No, not at all. There's not much there, but...
Any clue is, well, better than no clue.
Howlite, etc., if you'd like to come in at this point.
Oh yes, I would love to. Very, very just like nonchalantly walk up to these three that are having this conversation and just try and catch the eye of Celsus.
Turns.
She's going to see Uryte's like deep in conversation with Gwyn and just like do an eye motion to Celsus of like, you might want to hear this.
Okay, is there an energy of like this is private, so we should leave the room, or
can I ask you to make an insight check? Is that a thing I can do?
Sure.
yeah.
No, it's wizard business. I figure you'd understand.
Okay. So we'll just step like 6 feet away from people or something.
I just kind of motion aside. It's just like, yeah, come over here. You gotta
Yeah,
hear this.
I'll go over.
Social distance for secrets, 6 feet away.
Yep.
Hello.
No.
Scouting was... Well, I do not know if success is the right word, but, we have a little bit more of a scope for what we could be going up against.
Alright, what was found?
Are you familiar with reverse leaf rot?
Yes, I am.
Well, a rough estimate tells us that, and I do not exaggerate, about 10% of the woods is under the effects of reverse leaf rot.
Interesting.
Roughly 1 in 10 trees.
That's interesting. Hey, Katie, can I make an intelligence check to
Yeah,
see
sure.
if
You have a vague idea what it is. Plants weren't your favorite thing to study, but you know of it.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, the force of bad energies there is, well, it should be more than enough to supersede this town. Were it concentrated,
Yes, that's what it sounds like.
it's... We came here to see if there was a holy caster in the area.
There might be. Kind of looks around, mainly back at Uryte and
Guinevere?
Guinevere, yes, that. Apparently, the causation of this problem was her husband. Yeah, especially since I'm thinking, yes, okay, we can't do this, right? Are we all on the same page
That's what
of
I'm
that?
thinking. I'm thinking, if we try this, we might just fucking die. So
Yeah.
unless we can get... Here's my theory, out-of-game theory. What I'm trying to get Howlite to suggest, which is hard because I have to go through Howlite, but my theory is, we need the Temple of Palor on our sides.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If we send a group of holy casters in with us, we should have a much better time handling what's in there. And we could at least scout out a little bit better and see if, like, okay, can a small party handle this, or do we need a full-on, like, crusade?
I was actually gonna suggest something that's kind of similar to that.
Yeah, okay.
Say we go save Petrified Boy or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And we bring them back, basically do this grand task, and then go back to the main city that we're in.
Use it as favor for the Palor?
Yeah. Then we have leverage.
Oh, I like that idea.
Because everyone seems to just not give a shit about this.
Truly, I think if we went in and said it was an urgent issue, no one would care.
Yeah, they'd be like, "Oh, that's been happening for 20 years."
Right.
I did some quick math. I just on my phone.
Yeah?
Assuming he summoned 24 zombies or skeletons every night for the last 36 days of every 12 months for 20 years, he would have summoned 207,000 zombies.
Yeah, honestly, he could summon one thing each night, and it would still be a ridiculous amount.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
But because
just don't
they move
just
around
go
the
away.
city, roaming the streets at night, I'm like, it's a big enough town that it wouldn't matter if it was one zombie. They would not care. So I'm at least putting 24.
This is a small thing that I feel like I am suspicious of. He was a fucking alchemist, not a necromancer.
Right. He shouldn't.
Yeah.
So what the fuck happened?
So what happened?
He was given something. He was given something.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly bought a cursed item.
Ooh. He's the subject of this whole thing so that the priests don't kill him, because his wife is one of them. And the emotional trauma there would stop her from going and killing him.
That's interesting.
During the whole, like, they might be looking for something, yada, yada, yada. And then you guys were out of town and you felt wind again outside of town. Once Uryte hears that, he's going to bring it up in character again. So, TLDR. Feel like there's an undead infestation possibly under or above.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm getting that feeling too.
You could just tell me directions on how to get to the workshap, and if it's locked, provide a key possibly. That way we don't have to...
I can give you the key.
Thank you.
She, reaches into her robes and pulls out a, brass key. If you just go back to where Elizabeth is running the shop and tell her just, you're going to look around the alchemist lab, she'll probably let you in.
Thank you very much. Uryte kind of, looks at the key, and shakes his head before pocketing it, and, this came to my mind recently. My friends were over there talking. You said that it was like a slow descent to this madness, yes?
Yeah, it started about a year and a half before Elizabeth was born, and then he disappeared months after she was born.
Prior to that, after these adventurers sold him this item, did his speech patterns or personality change much, if at all?
He seemed a little more paranoid.
Paranoid?
Yeah. That's about all that was different, though. It's like he was afraid of what was coming.
If I may ask.
Oh, God!
Hello.
Yeah,
I
don't sneak up on me
apologize.
like that.
My footsteps are soft.
Yes!
Thank you, Richard. That was great.
Nice.
Did you know who or what these adventurers were?
No, they seem to be just like a normal adventuring party. While they were here, they went out and there was a roving band of orcs that was coming through, and they went and dealt with that. And that's about all I can think of to note offhand about them.
None of them seemed capable of slowing the air or raising lots of bad creatures.
If I may,
Maybe?
how many people die from these on average?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Lately?
In general.
Overall.
Early on, we lost a lot of people. Very early on. But in recent years, it's been lowered to maybe a half dozen a year.
That's not too terrible, but that's still more than I would like.
Hey guys, I have a really, batshit idea.
Yeah?
Okay. She said he seemed afraid of what was coming.
Mm-hmm.
What if...
Mm-hmm.
Oh god, this is so crazy. He found out something was coming,
Mm-hmm.
and that something really doesn't like undead. So it's all an elaborate attempt to keep the town safe from something even more dangerous that doesn't want to go around something that has a bunch of necromancy going on
me,
around
that's
it.
insane. Holy
That's
shit, I love that.
Weird and
I love
fun
that
gimmick.
so
I don't
much.
think it's what Cat's going for personally, but
I wouldn't discredit anything.
That's
hold
why I
on.
said it's a little batshit.
If I may. Something that doesn't make sense to me here. Cat, can I insight check this priest?
Sure.
I just have to be careful. I don't fully trust her myself, so just want to make sure she's, being completely honest. Like, yeah, she knew nothing about these adventures.
Completely understandable.
Yeah. Of course, I'm the worst person to do this. It's not bad.
When it counts.
She's telling the whole truth as far as you can tell.
Okay.
I do have one question.
Hmm.
Why haven't you left yet? Why hasn't the town just abandoned? It's been happening for so long. There's plenty of time to have done it.
A lot of us have left, but there's a lot of us that don't have the resources to move. At least not in a quickly time frame. Because if we get caught outside, and say a lot of us don't have any training to defend ourselves, we can't really do much against the undead that come out at night.
May I ask why no larger force has been gathered to take care of this issue, if it was...
We've petitioned the Adventurers Guild as well as the Crown. The Crown just ignored us, but the Adventurers Guild sent a party and they never returned.
That adventuring party.
Good.
How strong did they look? Did they look like fresh meat?
They had a cleric that could cast, 3rd level magic?
So around the same. Just a little bit stronger, probably. Had to give or take.
Did the undead attacks stop? Or at least a little bit after that happened?
No. They were about the same.
Did any of the party come back?
No.
I mean, they like look at.
With zombies?
Yes.
Not that I remember.
How long ago was this? That
8
hasn't been
or 9 years?
8 or 9 years.
And did they get paid in advance by chance?
Nobody asked. I don't remember if they said or anything. They were getting paid by the Adventuring Guild.
Okay, I don't know how the one works here fully, so probably not. If we find any information, is there any way that we could get some aid from some of y'all?
No, definitely. We have plenty of middling and higher range priests. A lot since the attacks have happened, a lot more support for the church has actually been gained.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yes, I noticed that. When did you join? Out of curiosity.
My mother was actually ran this church when it was much smaller, and I took up the mantle after her.
And how often do you allow people to hide in here whenever, well, the undead come and knock in?
We keep track of whenever homes are actually broken into, and when those homes have been broken into, we take those families until their house is repaired, and they come here.
Okay, so at least you're alright. That's good.
Is it possible that we mount a small scouting party to enter the woods? Some holy casters, some of us, and make sure that we're certain of the numbers.
So I had an idea about that, actually, friend.
Well, putting this on the table first.
Yes.
A cursory scan gives an idea of the activity of the dark energies, but to know for certain how much still remains would require a much more hands-on approach.
And the idea I was having, actually, for this, because I actually was also pondering a scouting possibility.
Good.
We could stay here for a few days, if not the week that we need for those shields, and wait for the next attack to come.
Yes, that
and
would
then
be a good
follow
idea.
them back.
I would like to know if they go back somewhere or simply wander.
Yeah.
I believe if they wandered, we likely would have run into a few more.
Probably, but
We can start with that. Pardon, I do not know your name. They look towards Guinevere.
Oh, I'm Guinevere Gavai.
Miss Gavai, could we ask that, should the information come up that there is something that needs to be done about this, could we ask for your support in a few days?
Most definitely.
excellent. Well then, should we go check out this alchemy lab then to see if we can find some information?
Yes, we should. Before we go, I turn to Guinevere. Does your daughter know about this? Is there anything we can say around her?
She knows that it's her father. Though
Okay,
it is
good.
a sore subject.
So Celsus kind of gets a whew, and then like as he starts to walk out, he goes like he kind of like mumbles just under his breath. I did not want to have to deal with that.
Alchemy lab, though. I would very much like to see that.
Yeah, thank you very much for all your help, ma'am.
No, it's no problem.
I'm gonna make a I'm gonna make a charisma check real quick. Nope. Okay, Howlite's gonna turn and leave without saying anything else. They're trying to learn pleasantries. They're not good at it.
Oh god. And now we can go and see what's in this lab and maybe even see if there's a... Oh, right. While we're on our way there, did you by chance find anything else while you're out there, the Howlite?
It was a red eye.
How's the wind? Wait, what?
The wind.
There was a red eye in the forest.
Or had I?
I saw it, but Erevan didn't.
The wind had a different energy there.
Wait, was there actually wind out there?
Vaguely. In the place
Huh.
between town and trees, yes. To assume that this town and those forests are similarly dead seems accurate, but the small grotto in between felt just slightly more lifelike.
That is odd. And you said that this felt similar to the undead the other day, this air in this town, yeah?
Similar. Unsure if it's the same, but similar.
That. What if there's undead that are hiding in the town then, or something that gives off the same energy?
Yes, I considered that.
This, the alchemy lab might actually. Huh.
You go back to Elizabeth.
Hello there again, Miss Elizabeth.
Oh, hello. Did you find my mom?
Yeah, we learned a bunch from her, and she sent us back, gave us permission to, and he pulls out the brass key, to look through the alchemy lab for a little bit.
Oh, yeah. There's like a barrel in like the side of her stall. She like drags that over. You can come on in.
Oh, thank you.
And she like leads you into like the house that's behind the stall, and then leads you into like this cellar basement with a door at the bottom of the stairs.
Hmm.
Any symbols around by chance on this door?
Yeah.
It's a plain wooden door.
Okay.
Just gonna quickly snap my fingers, spend a spell slot this time.
Valid. There is nothing magical about the door.
Have they ever broken into the lab?
Not that I remember. Mom did mention at one point, like, okay, so you know, like, when there's a lot of water in something, it, like, presses on the, like, it, like, pushes on the seams of it.
Mm.
There was enough undead at one point that they all just kind of fell down these stairs, and then, like, the weight of it did bend the door.
Interesting.
That's quite a lot of undead.
Yeah, this was, like, very early. I don't remember it. I do remember Mom having to get the door fixed.
What if they've been looking for the key?
That would be hilarious.
It would be
They
fine.
can't enter the church grounds if Mom sleeps at the church.
Ian's trying to push the door.
Go
but
ahead,
it's-
I'm not gonna stop you.
Well, it's kind of, heavy.
Howlite gently helps push the door.
I'll let you think, Uryte is, what's the word?
Exaggerating.
Hyperbolizing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
If only I could
Yeah.
make this door heavier with magic.
That'd be really funny. Like, he's like, yeah, Wait, actually, like, oh shit, it actually is heavy.
I mean,
No,
what? It is
never-
heavy. It's been heavy this whole time.
Yeah, he would never admit to that. He would lie on his teeth about it. It is natural.
Right, we step in. What the fuck's up with this place?
You see a very dusty room. There's like a couple chairs, some large tables, some weird apparati, and like as you walk in, it's like dingy and like there's a damp smell to the air.
Is the air moving here?
It's even more stagnant than it was before.
Okay.
Progress.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I'm gonna look for either scrolls or, if I'm lucky, a spellbook.
I'm looking for alchemy bits. Just little things. Little ingredients and possibly
Investigations, all of you.
any potions.
Oh, I can
Literally
investigate.
just a D12.
Detect magic to help me try and find any sort of magical items around or stuff with magic on it to help.
Do yours at advantage.
Haha.
Makes sense, makes sense.
Every
Does
little
my
bit
knowledge
counts.
of alchemy help?
Yes, it will. Give me. So, Celsus, you're looking for scrolls and possibly a book, correct?
I am,
You're like
yes.
scanning the bookshelves. A lot of these are written in Elvish, but
Mhm.
the common ones that you can read are. A lot of them are just alchemical books. You do see a scroll here or there for some for some identifies. You see some identify scrolls, a couple detect magic scrolls,
Okay.
things that you would normally find in an alchemist lab. If you would like to grab those scrolls, that's fine.
Identify and detect magic.
Yes, 2 of each.
I'll take them and then give them to other people. I know those spells.
Fair enough.
I would love to have an identify scroll. Is it cool if I take that?
Go for it.
Cool.
I'd like a detect magic scroll.
Go for it.
Can you just give me a straight intelligence check to see if you recognize like the words on this book? They're written in common, but they're this is an old text. It's the reason I had you do that is it's a old form of common.
Old common.
Old common, like old English.
Uncommon.
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 Do you, sir? Do you speak rare?
No, I only speak medium.
Legendary.
Oh,
Can
legendary.
Can we
I
please
speak
actually
epic.
call it uncommon?
Yes.
Good.
My God.
Would you like to start reading the book?
I would love to.
Cool.
Oh wait, actually, I'm gonna show it to Uryte first and be like, "Is this magical?"
The binding of the cover does have some enchantment, like faint enchantment, coming off of it.
The cover here got some enchantment on it, and
If it's faint, I doubt it will kill me.
Your thought is that it's to preserve the
that's
the cover.
Preserve the text.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
that. These pompous wizards from uncommon times.
Yeah, that's I'm like it's a spell to make the binding last forever, so that it doesn't fall
Precisely.
apart.
whenever you
Yeah.
showed it to him, did you show any of the inside of it to him?
I haven't opened it yet.
Oh, okay, just the outside.
Yeah.
You said that the words on it were in this old common,
Uncommon.
uncommon. Yes, you said the words are in, whatever. The words are in uncommon. So, do you have words for that, or is it just like what is it? I'm very
Think
curious.
of it like Old English.
Yeah.
No, but like, what's it say? What's the book?
Oh, what's the book?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. What is the title?
What's the title?
It roughly means the wide divide between gods and men.
Huh.
Interesting.
Okay.
Anyway, going down the line to Mike.
I'm gonna check to see if there's any hidden things in the stonework. Any
In the
secret floors
stonework?
in the floors or in the walls. If there's any hidden passageways or hidden compartments. I've got mason's tools. I figure I'm probably the one that's gonna find something that, like a hollow section behind the wall, or
Yeah. You're kind of like analyzing the walls. You kind of like start at one wall. Where are you starting in the room?
mostly because everyone's walking on it. I'll skip the floor for now, so I'll just basically go around the edge, starting from where we came in at the door, going around.
Yeah.
Counterclockwise.
Counterclockwise. Yeah, you find something pretty easily actually. So right next to the door there was a bookcase, and then there was a table next to it, and above the table there's like a hollow piece of wall that as you're like tapping along, you find it, and you don't know how to open it per se, but you know that it's hollow behind there.
Might have something here, but gotta figure out how it opens first.
Oh, may I see that for a second?
Sure.
Howlite's just gonna put their hand on like the hollow spot. Can I feel for any cracks where there might be a slight breeze coming through?
Yeah, it seems pretty solid. Almost like a fitted piece of something was placed there and then sealed.
Seems permanent.
Just a quick look back, because you said I walked past the bookshelf. Is the bookshelf like right up against the wall, a big thick bookshelf, or?
It's not super thick, but it's a solid like wood bookshelf.
You already gone through this bookshelf, Celsus?
Yes, I have.
Reach it forward a little bit, see if there's something behind it.
There is not, but as you move it, something clatters to the ground, like something metal.
Okay, I'm gonna look at that.
It seems to be a letter opener.
Yo, Uryte, is that magical?
Looks over from where he's at.
It's a letter opener. It's not magical.
It's a letter opener.
Fair enough.
At most, maybe you can stick it in that little crack you found. Goes back to doing what he used to do.
There are no cracks
No, I don't have
to
that high of an
stick in
intelligence. Fuck it, I'll try that.
You're gonna try to, like...
Cause is it like a flat thing, or is it like a bricked up wall, or like cobblestone bricked up mortar wall?
It's smooth.
Smooth.
Like a smooth stone.
Seems like it was, like, sealed, so I don't think there's any cracks.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull my chisel out and just go, bonk, and just
With
drop
a
it.
solid bonk. Can you give me a strength check?
Dude, I have a strength of 19.
I know. I just want to see how...
I just want to
how
see you
well
crit
you
It's
fail.
cool,
How
I've
well?
got proficiency in that.
Yes, with a hefty bonk, this panel easily, like, flies open, and you notice that, like, there are hinges underneath, so it, like, flies open and then smacks the wall on the other side. And it seems just to be, like, a shallow, like, cubby with some things inside.
Perhaps even
What live in between?
Secret wizard things.
Inside you just see some, like, kind of aged papers, a small box, like, no bigger than, like, a small jewelry box, like, a few inches on each side. There's a bottle of ink in there, as well as an orb.
I think I found something for you, Celsus.
The orb.
goody.
Howlite, you were looking for alchemist stuff.
Yeah. Potion making / potions, just in general.
All over the place, everything.
Hell yeah.
Like, there's the far wall, which is just lined with bottles of stuff.
They're going to very meticulously and very carefully start going through this, like, one by one, looking for anything. Well, first of all, this has been here for a while, so anything that's still active and worthwhile. I'm sure some of it will have perished by now, but
Some of it, a lot of the, like, more, like, organic stuff has perished. Can you give me just, like, roll a d6?
yeah, I can.
Oh, cool. So you find 3 potions of lesser healing.
Hell yeah, okay.
And then you find, hold on, I gotta pull up a potions table.
Yes.
Then you get 2 potions.
Okay. 2
One-
ones.
That is in a pint-sized clay jug.
Okay, clay potion, yeah.
It's a fuchsia color that is more viscous than normal, like, potions. It's almost like syrup or sap.
Okay.
And can you roll me just a straight d20 to see how degraded this
Yeah,
label is?
of course. Are we doing the potion rules with what we did for Solomon?
I don't remember what those are, but sure.
It was basically 10 is like, you have a label.
And okay.
15 was you have perfect understanding, or like really good understanding, that type of thing. Oh!
Huh.
This is a potion that allows you to smell gold from 50 feet away for 1d4 days.
Oh! Very useful for the right person. I'm gonna sell that to someone.
Can you roll me another d20?
We're
Yes, I can.
carrying gold a lot.
Crit, fail, crit.
15.
Okay.
I'm doing
Yeah,
great.
in a metal container, you find it's slightly warm and lime in color.
Okay.
Kind of almost waterier than a normal, like, healing potion.
Uh-huh.
All the label says is double speed.
Dude.
You got 2 really good ones.
Dude,
Is
double
that a potion
speed?
of haste?
That's exactly what I want. I'm obviously gonna take those. Am I able to stock up on some rare reagents that might happen to be here? Some, like, essence, some, maybe, like, minerals, that type of thing? So I can...
Yeah. You can find a handful of a lot of minerals, as well as just, like, on, like, one of the shelves, you find a small coin pouch.
Oh, okay.
That contains Westley. Roll me a d50
Me?
Why Wesley?
But I'm that name.
because I've had you roll a lot of luck, and I wanted to make 20 platinum.
Oh, okay. I'll take that.
Jesus.
This was a well-established alchemist.
Howlite takes that and does not think secondly of it because Howlite assumes that taking things from houses that are not occupied is completely fine in this nation.
Yeah, I mean...
So I'm gonna take that.
I mean, I'm probably taking this book, so...
And then we have got lots of good minerals and reagents for potions.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically what I'm looking for is there any, like, harpy feathers?
Harpy feathers.
Yes, harpy feathers.
That's specific.
That's very specific. I'm gonna roll... Can you roll me luck and I'll roll universe?
Yeah, of course. Just D20?
Yeah.
Oof, not so good, Howlite. I mean, I got
You don't see any harpy feathers.
damn, okay.
If you see a bottle labeled harpy feathers, but there's nothing in it.
Empty harpy feathers. So the dude had them, but they're not here anymore. Goddamn.
Yeah, they either, like, disintegrated over time, or just were used up.
Can't be perfectly lucky. Alright. Hell yeah. Howlite's very happy right now.
Reine, what were you looking for?
Well, we were still looking for any kind of clues, so Raine's gonna look for anything like that, like any weird objects or anything interesting.
In terms of, like, weird objects, there's not anything really out of the ordinary out in the room.
Any potions that were finished but never sold.
Howlite found a bunch of them. I would say you find a couple.
Ooh, what do I find?
Just another potion of healing, which is the 2d4 plus 2, and a light blue potion with what seems to be like a floating, like, ball bearing in it.
Interesting. I walk over to Celsus. What kind of
Yes.
potion is this? Rattles a ball bearing in it.
I take the potion. Uryte, what kind of potion is this?
Abjuration magic, something with that.
Interesting. Did I prepare identify today? And then I'm gonna use a thing that means I don't have to ritual cast it.
Right. It's a potion of resistance.
Ooh,
Oh, hell yeah. That's useful.
It gives you a random resistance based off of the 10 types of damage for an hour. It's randomly determined.
Interesting.
Oh, that's awesome.
Very interesting, while not exactly useful.
She takes it back and slips it into her bag.
If that's a potion of resistance, do be careful not to choke on the ball bearing. It's not part of the potion.
Why is a potion of ball bearing resistance?
I don't know.
That would
don't
likely be
believe
bludgeoning.
that exists.
Choking resistance.
Choking resistance. In the place I come from, choking is not an element.
Nor is it here. Is it Uryte time?
It is
But-
Uryte time.
Uryte,
My father used to say choking was fun. I don't know what he meant.
Good.
Thousand
what were
years
you looking for?
terror about it. Just like good.
He was just trying to find anything and everything that had a magical signature on it.
As, like, you are looking around the room and people are grabbing things, a lot of the stuff that was giving off a magical signature is, like, yoinked by Howlite grabs a bunch of, like, there was, like, a cluster of small healing potions. There is the orb in the little, like, cubby that Erevan has found but hasn't really investigated. And there seems to be a slight magical aura coming from a feather, like a quill, on the desk.
Oh, shit.
Okay. Gonna
Please.
pick
What about the little jewelry box?
Do you want to pick up the little jewelry box?
Yeah.
I was just asking if that was giving off a magical aura.
I'll
No.
definitely pick it up and like look inside that, you know, just to see.
There seems to be a small gold bracelet.
No magical vibe from that.
Nope. There's a little plate engraved with the name Elizabeth.
Oh,
He's gonna close that and put it back down. Just no one touched that one. That's I think he was working on a gift at one point.
Since I was standing there looking at it, I saw the nameplate to it. I'm like, yep, nope, that stays there.
Picks up the quill, kind of looks at it. Does it look like a writing quill?
Yes.
Huh. You said you also found like a weird orb.
Yeah.
Just kind of like scamper over and look at that. Does it give off a weird or any sort of...
It gives a divination. Both of these give off a divination.
Huh.
the quill gives off divination? Interesting.
I'm gonna let you figure out what it does.
Alright.
Probably magic. I'm gonna read the notes that I found in the thing.
There are old letters between Guinevere and this elf named Cross.
Aw. Okay. Well, while you're reading that, I'll go sit down next to Celsus and start identifying stuff. Just start ritual cast and identify over and over.
Okay, I was just gonna see if how long the dates were apart and see if I could see a change in tone.
These seem to be older and
I kind of figured that.
early, like, courting letters.
Yeah. I kind of figured that's what it was gonna be, but you know, I was hoping.
Cross, from what you can tell, seem to be like a very, like, down to earth, happy, simple man who really cared about Guinevere
Hmm.
and was planning to provide for her for as long as she was alive, even though his lifespan is drastically longer than hers.
Sadness.
I'll put those back with the box on top of it, and I'm gonna put the hinge back up and close it.
Oh.
A good idea. Tali.
I just want to start pulling through the books and looking for mutagen recipes.
Yeah. You see a recipe for celerity, which we already have.
Mhm.
You also see one for Night Eye. Gives you dark vision up to 60 feet, or doubles it if you already have dark vision.
Okay. If I were to take this, is it reasonable that I could learn how to make it?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
You also see one for rapidity. We already have that one.
Uh-huh.
And those are the three that you find.
Well, I'm definitely going to study the Night Eye mutagen then, because hell yeah. Reading these then also means that this man theoretically dabbled a little bit in blood magic, which is very interesting to me.
At least a little.
Just a little. Or at least had books on it. Alchemist's dream here.
Not sure yet.
Yeah. Which thing are you identifying first?
First would probably be the quill.
The quill, alright. You realize that this item is cursed.
Okay.
Whenever you write with this quill, it gives it. You can only write what is currently part of your future.
Oh.
You don't know when, or you don't know how, and you don't know what is happening with whatever you write. You are just overtaken for as long as the quill has ink in it.
Ooh.
Or it looks. If he could get pale, he would be pale right now.
You also find out that the more you write with this quill, the more addictive it becomes.
I think that this might be what he got given, possibly.
Yeah. Explain.
Um, This he'll hold up the quill and be like, "This quill is cursed, but as long as ink is within it, you can write down the future of your own, at least. You kind of go into a bit of a trance, if I'm understanding this correctly, and it becomes a bit addicting. Probably shouldn't use this too much, if at all, if we decide to bring it with us as evidence."
Not a bad backup, though. Howlite says, looking up from a book for a second.
And for gritted teeth,
And I refuse to ever use it.
What about the orb?
Working on it.
Anyone wants to do in 10 minutes, or are we just gonna go through 10 minutes instantaneously?
I'm just gonna
I
be
have a
reading
book.
books, so this
book.
could be reasonably how I read shit, you know?
Yeah,
Book in
time.
uncommon.
Book in uncommon.
Uncommon.
You realize this is like very, very old, from one of the earliest civilizations of mortals, and specifically a sect of humans that were angry at how the gods could just persist on while the humans had to die, kind of thing.
Yeah.
A fuck you gods, why the fuck do you, we're gonna come up with a way to kill God.
Oh god.
Kill God.
I wonder if there's a recipe for a philosopher's stone in here.
Maybe that's what that
It's
orb
just
is.
mostly talks of like what they were doing, and no really recipes or diagrams or anything. It seems to be just a compilation of things gathered from the past.
Okay.
One of the things you do note, however, just as you're reading, you read something about how a group of them came, like a bunch of them came from the city of Aletha.
Aletha again, really? Ooh.
Huh.
Ooh.
There's that name again.
That's ooh.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't read that down. And they're humans?
Mortals. In Old English, it's like I'm gonna steal this from Westley. You know how bats were called birds in the Bible?
Ha!
Kind of all mortals are referred to as humans.
Yeah, okay. Alright, sure. Gotcha. That makes sense. Okay. Because I have the information that might not be a human city.
A lot of it is just kind of rambling as you read on, Wesley.
Okay.
Something you do get about the city of Aletha. It's often referred to as the city floating on lava.
That fits. You guys remember what I learned about it earlier?
Nope.
Not really.
It was a dwarf city.
Huh? Nice.
Yeah.
At a
okay.
volcano.
Yep. Now we know it was above the volcano.
Yeah. Very good to know.
Or
In.
It was
on.
in magma. Somewhere.
I'll just kind of say this information as like
Yeah.
I find it. I don't want to relay it in character.
There's not going to be anything said, but I do want to say that Howlite will just casually scooch themselves closer to Celsus while they're studying, just so they can listen to this.
Nice.
So the mortals were angry at the gods for having immortality.
What else is new?
Yeah, I know, right? Fly too close to the sun, you'll get burned.
It's only natural to want that which you don't have.
Yeah, or what's this thing do?
Orb.
It seems to be made of some sort of amethyst or quartz-based crystal, and when you finish the spell, it allows whoever attunes to it the ability to cast legend lore once per day. But there's a chance every day at sunrise that the orb will crack.
Oh
and become
no.
usable.
That's actually pretty good still. Since I imagine it's been stuck behind that wall for the last 20 or so years. Yeah, I'd say... Well, if only one person could attune to it, could it have been that the person who was attuned to it is no longer attuned to it, and that's why it hasn't broken?
Well, magic is a finicky thing.
Now I'm gonna get some finicky magic bullshit that I have
Yeah.
no idea what I'm talking about. Anyway,
Magic is finicky. Sometimes for that question, yes. Sometimes for that question, no. But, yeah, if we wanted, we could attune to this thing and, well, figure out what's up with this quill and see if it doesn't tell us any information about the man.
so I imagine the quill wasn't locked up.
No, it was laying on that table over there, kind of as if it, had seen some use before.
Was there a desk down here? Because I want to go through the drawers of that desk, see if he left any notes.
Sure, yeah, there's a desk. It's where the quill was found.
Check the drawers. He might have written something with that quill and stashed them.
Completely possible, yeah.
Somebody give me investigation.
It's both. I'll give you the help back.
22! Nice! You open the drawers and you immediately find that half of the pages in these drawers, half of the papers have been burnt. They're not completely burned, but a lot of them are at least partially.
Kind of like pulls out that stuff. I'm just like, there's only so much magic could do for this. Unfortunately, the message that was written on some of this stuff that's burned would be lost.
This is just a personal thing as he pulls out the papers. How many papers are there?
A lot. He was an alchemist, so a lot of the ones that aren't burnt are just like normal like alchemy like equations,
Just
notes.
the burnt stuff.
Yeah.
The burnt stuff, there's like 30 or so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Telling your future and then seeing it change on you and getting addicted to telling the future by doing that. I feel like that might have been a self-deprecating spiral that spun him into that sense.
Thought. Are these ones that are burnt? There are a few words visible on them, yeah?
There's plenty of words visible. They're not fully burnt. A lot of them are just like quarter or like half burnt.
I just have a very specific question, just to confirm or deny something. Are they the same?
No.
No. Because my thought
There
was...
are several that like seem to like go together,
Okay.
and then like there's several that are like a different set.
Uh-huh.
There's like 4 or 5 sets of like papers.
Okay, because what I was thinking was he saw a future he didn't like and then burned it.
Ooh.
So that definitely makes sense. On all these, by the way, too, is there like any dates? Written?
No. A lot of them are incoherent for the most part. There is a word that is repeated kind of over and over throughout all of these, or phrase, technically. It's always the fever.
The fever?
Yeah. It's always written like the fever has taken over, the fever is coming, yada yada yada. So on and so forth.
Mad Doomsday
Ramblings.
Ramblings? Oh,
Mad
boy.
Doomsday Ramblings.
Are there any like sort of like context clues that go with the fever at any point? Like, this happened, the fever came.
Oh
Or-
my god, I just had an epiphany.
What you got?
The book on the gods, the items of the future telling, the undead, this whole fever thing. I think he's trying to make immortality.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
That would
too.
make sense, yeah. Like, because this air quote fever is coming, he's trying to.
Yeah, think about it. He's making all these undead in a hopes to try and find some solution.
Fucker might be. Okay, here's my thought process on this, alright? Got this thing, started telling the future. The fever popped up a few times here and there, so he tried to sort of find a way to stop it or whatever. That made him start going on this, mission of raising the undead, because maybe, like, lichdom would save him. However, in doing such,
Not trying to save himself.
what if him trying to figure out how to, like, do this, save people, is what's causing this fever?
He wants to care and provide for his wife for all her days alive.
Yeah. So,
He foresaw her death.
but what if him doing this is the reason she dies?
Yeah, he definitely is a self-fulfilling prophecy in some regards, but you never know. He's trying to do something. He's just sort of...
He foresaw her death to some sickness.
I don't think it's just her. It's
I think it might be
fever.
It
everyone.
sounds like an epidemic.
Sounds like, yeah.
Yeah.
Does sound like an epidemic.
Whenever it's always the fever is coming, the fever took them, the fever is something along the lines of they're collapsing out under themselves. There's nothing you can do to stop it once their legs give out.
Got two ideas currently. Either I attempt to try and mend these pages, or we try and use it on the fever.
We have multiple days in town. Using one use of your legendary insight would not be a... You can use it more freely than I think you are assuming. If this would answer questions once our investigations are done today, I'd say it's worth it.
Alright, well, let's start with, I guess, the obvious thing. And I'll try to, make these pages good, see what happens. At the burnt parts of the pages only, I'll try to use mending.
Works mostly. Some of the ink comes back, some of it doesn't. Can you give me an Arcana check?
Have Westley give you advantage by him helping you figure this shit out?
Wesley, would you like to do the help action?
Sure.
Do the help action. Roll again, Richard.
Okay. Please. Better.
Okay. You get the sense that since these were scrawlings influenced by a magical, that the magic infused in the ink sometimes refuses to return.
Makes sense.
Interesting.
You do gain a little bit more information, though, as you go on. It describes images of, people with the fever start kind of disintegrating into dust, and specific talks of their bones becoming frail and fragile and breaking from the sheer weight.
It really sounds like necromantic fallout type thing.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind just asking this, Kat. When the writing gets burnt, does it happen to be... Well, I guess we've only got one, but something that I wouldn't mind looking for is, does it seem to be... Maybe there's multiple burns on this. Always when it approaches descriptions of, specific people?
Sometimes.
Is it that this guy was, so emotional that he burnt out the emotional parts? That's kind of what I'm feeling.
That makes a lot of sense, Tali. That really does. Oh, God, the fucking brittle bones, legs go out, turn to dust, that's...
This is probably not going to work, but I kind of just want to roll something. Can I roll to see how far apart... Can I roll survival to see how far apart they were burned, or if they were all burned at the same time, or if after he wrote them, he read them and then burned out parts of them?
That's gonna be hard if this happened
20 years ago. Yeah, I'm not expecting this to work. I just want to try.
Sure, roll.
Fuck.
Mike is like, wait a second, these pages, they were burnt tomorrow.
You look at these pages, everyone, and you look at them, and you're looking at how they're burned, and you're like, these pages were burned by fire.
Amazing. Guys, we've ruled
They look
out...
almost like they were burnt yesterday. Wait a minute.
No, these gotta be years old burns. Go. And put everything back that we're not taken as evidence. Push that bookcase back probably.
It's pretty easy to set everything back where it was.
I'm taking this book.
I'm taking everything I found.
So we are leaving the room.
Yeah.
Do we wish to go back to the temple?
What time is it?
Little after midday.
Let's go get some food. Fucking hell. Is the food quality kind of worse because of this doom aura that's around here?
It's just kind of plain. Things that you expect to have some flavor is just kind of plain. Tali's worst nemesis.
My worst nemesis, yes. Boring food.
I wish more things were plain.
Wesley, you should go here. Live here with the skeleton army.
That sounds like a great idea, Tali.
Join the skeleton host.
Join the skeletons and Skeletor!
You're just a knockoff, bud. You think a true necromancer screams out, "Join me"? No, bud. A true necromancer takes.